Bitcoin has crashed over 50% since the all-time high, and we had a major drop on the 5th of Feb where BTC tapped below 60K. Now, price has been parabolic over the last 5 to 6 months. And now the question remains is, are we in a bear market or not? Now we need to assess price action first. This is why we need to remain on the monthly and the weekly time frame to understand price structure. I'm going to go in that in a bit more detail, so make sure you stay until the end of the video. Now, in my previous videos, I mentioned to you, and this move should not have come as a surprise to you, we've reached all of our downside targets minus this level down here, which is a possibility we may reach. Now, what I wanted to show you guys is how price reacts when we are actually in a bear cycle. So if we start off all the way in 2013, and as price approached the regions at all-time highs at 1,100, we dropped. And when we dropped around 90%. Now, when we had the move to the downside in 2018, price came all the way to the highs at 19,000, and we dropped significantly, again, 80%. From 19,000 all the way down to around 3,000. Now, when we had the all-time highs in the previous bear cycle, we tapped into these regions of 69,000 and we dropped all the way down to 15,000. Again, an 80% drop. So if we are going to drop from here onwards, we will be looking at the regions of around, let's call it 30K, 25 to 30K. So from 125K to 30K. Now the difference we have down here is that move will likely destroy the complete market, including alts, because alts are already at an all-time low. And this is why this cycle is different to all other cycles. And this is why we need to pay attention to market structure. Now, to begin with, on the monthly time frame, the most important thing to us right now is the total market cap chart, which I'll get on in a second. Now, on BTC specifically, we've broken market structure down here. We've created a break of market structure. Usually what that means is if we close on the monthly below this red line here at 74,000, price is likely going to head much, much lower. That does not mean that once we created the break, we won't come back up. There is a likely chance that we can come back up. And that move here, which is an unpopular opinion right now, is that move down here could be the alt season. We could possibly get an alt season just from that move alone. Now, on the weekly time frame, what we can see is price came all the way down just below 60,000. We tapped into this consolidation zone down here and we've reversed. This could be a local low down here. Now, what I'm looking for is trying to get in a position if we come back down on the weekly time frame for a long. But I'm also looking for short opportunity, which I'll show you in a second as well. So what I want to see on the weekly time frame is price to close above these regions down here. Again, doesn't matter as much, providing that the total market cap does what it needs to do. Now, if we do close above these regions down here, there's a possibility that next week we will get a deeper drive to the downside. There is a very, very high chance that we could get that move to the downside. However, I do feel like we are at the midst of reversing and bolstering higher onwards from here. Now, let's just jump on the total market cap chart. Now, this is the most important chart for you guys. What I want to show you is on the total market cap chart, the most important thing, number one, I said to the regions of 2 trillion to 2.23 trillion. Those are the regions that we want to look at. Prices come tapped into it, and we're likely going to close above it on the monthly and the weekly time frame. If we close on the weekly time frame end of this week above the regions of 2.3 trillion or just above the regions of 2.24 trillion, that's a good sign for us. We would not have then created a break of market structure. Now, that doesn't mean, like I say to you on BTC, that doesn't mean that we won't come back down one more time. There is a possibility that we may come back one more time into these regions, possibly even taking out these lows down here, because it's likely on the weekly we would create this big wick, price will come back in, take out these liquidations down here, and then we will move higher to the upside from here onwards. Now, the most important thing on the monthly time frame is the month of February started quite bearish. Usually what we see is when the month starts, we get a bullish sign first, then we move down. Monthly time frame of Feb has been slightly different. We started off pretty bearish and we might even close all the way back up. Now, what I want to see on the monthly is price closing above these regions here: 2.3 trillion, 2.24 trillion, 2.23 trillion. It's very, very important we do that. And the reason why I say that is because if we close below these regions, that's official break off market structure. That means structure has changed from being bullish to bearish. And that also means that we're likely going to roll down even further from here. Now, what that doesn't mean is we may get the move to the upside still, and that could be the alt season, unpopular opinion. Now, last but not least, Ethereum. Ethereum has come into the regions of below 2000, 1.7K, and this is a good buy. And I'm hoping you guys have been buying on your spot positions because these have been fantastic buys. I've called it many, many times in my channel where I'm buying and what I'm buying. So I'm hoping that you guys bought some of the coins that I mentioned on my channel. Ethereum itself is actually a very, very good buy as well. But actually, I wanted price to come slightly lower into the regions of 1.5 to 1.6K. Now, what I'm seeing on Ethereum right now, number one, we've tapped into this fair value gap and we also have a weekly order block down here. Can we close above these regions? Let's go on the weekly time frame. That weekly order block down here, can we close above those regions? In fact, can we come higher up into those regions of 2.1K and close above this level down here? That's a positive sign for us on the weekly time frame. Next week, what we could anticipate is a move down, price to rebalance the imbalance, and then we'll get a bigger move to the upside from there. So what I'm looking at is I'm not going to jump into any trades. I'm going to wait for price to come back down into those regions, wait for the rebalance, and I will take long positions there. Now, if you don't follow me on my Twitter page, I've got the username in my description. You would get live updates on any positions that I take. Now, last but not least, let's look at some of the alts. Algo was one of the key ones I mentioned to you guys, and I got in on a fantastic buy at 0.08. I mentioned this to you guys on my channel in the past, in my previous videos, that I am buying around those regions. Now, it is up just from that buy 20%. And this is possibly a local bottom. We may even go lower. But even if we just look at the local top down here, we will be up 300%. If we look at the highs down here, I will be up 600%. I mentioned other coins in my previous videos, so go and check them out. I'll give you further updates. It's very, very important that we look at the weekly time frame. We look at how the weekly closes, because this will help us decide where the market's going to go. Now, if you like these types of videos, consider subscribing, hit that like button, share and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.